97 West 7 Mile Road. Half a mile. Turn left onto Middlebelt Road. At the next light, turn left.
Every day from the Soul by Bugsy Spice Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket. The Tigers will close out week long against the Kansas City Royals yesterday. It gives Kansas City a sweep after a weekend series against the Tigers. Grayson Frederick leads the drive and run.
At the light, turn left onto Middlebelt Road.
Patriots win for the first time in a week as they beat the shorthanded Atlanta Hawks 100-86 last night at Little Caesars Arena. Very good night for the Pistons bench. They outscored the Hawks bench 44-22 thanks to 18 points from Frank Jackson. Meanwhile, NBA officials confirmed in a release last night 10 police referees will be sidelined for at least the next 2 weeks after recently testing positive for COVID-19. The NBA now expects to use replacement officials to step in for those who are tested positive. That could create some problems, especially with teams right now battling for playoff spots. The Red Wings are back on the ice tonight as they're in Columbus for a contest against the Blue Jackets. Face-off is at 7. In an interview with the team's website yesterday, New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick went out of his way to praise former Lions head coach Matt Patricia for his heavy involvement in the Patriots draft process this year.
He's done this for the last 3 years in a different organization, so he's very familiar with our process, his process, and all the things that go around that. So he's been really a very valuable resource and confidant, somebody to talk to who's been through the same things that we've been through, and his experience and perspective has been extremely valuable.
Patricia joined the Patriots organization back in February, just a couple of months after he was fired as head coach of the Lions. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Bill Belichick glowing about Matt Patricia. Kind of makes you think that maybe Patricia really didn't like exactly what was happening in the draft room.
Or free agency.
Yes.
Player acquisition. It's just all-encompassing player acquisition.
That he and Bob Quinn were not attached to the hip as much as people think. Well, maybe they were attached to the hip, but not attached to the brain. They didn't agree on a lot of stuff. That doesn't absolve Patricia for being a poor coach. But it is interesting to find out if we would ever find out exactly what he wanted to do. We did hear rumors that he wanted Derek Brown, the nose tackle from Auburn, instead of Okuda, which would still be pretty high for third pick overall. But maybe Patricia wanted to trade the pick. But hey, the general manager or whoever decided they were going to do that. Let's go to Gio and Macomb. You're on 97.1 The Ticket. Good morning, Gio.
How you guys doing?
We're good.
Good.
I thought we knew that. I don't understand this. I understand that he's assembling a bunch of draft capital and a complete rebuild, and maybe, John, you can speak to this more being experienced in the league, but the quarterback is so exponentially important. If Trey Lance falls to them at 7, I think you absolutely have to take him because you have a cap-friendly contract that you can get rid of Goff after a year. There's nothing that indicates that you want to keep him long-term anyway, and he's an expensive solution at that. If you're going to rebuild, and the quarterback being the most important position on the team, why wouldn't you take that opportunity to get Lance? You are building other draft capital, and there's other ways to do that down the road as well. They've got picks next year that they might be able to trade. They're not likely to be that competitive this year.
So, Gio, I do somewhat agree and somewhat disagree with you. Here's what I agree with. For me, if Penny Sewell and Trey Lance are there at 7, it would be really hard for me to pass up on either of them. And because you have a chance at a franchise quarterback, you have a chance to solidify one of the best position groups on your team, and that's the offensive line. If neither of those guys are there and you're presented with the option of going back and acquiring more draft capital for next year, because this team has so many needs. If you end up with 3 first round picks next year and say you fall in love with a quarterback, now you can package those 3 picks and move up and get your quarterback next year.
Yeah, but there's nothing that indicates there's that incredible a quarterback coming out next year. And I know every year there are new prospects, but this Trey Lance has come off as to me anyway, a real possible game changer and projects maybe even possibly be the best quarterback out of this draft.
Gio, let me ask you a question. Before last season, college season, did you even think of Zach Wilson?
No, I did not think of Zach Wilson, but I had heard of Trey Lance.
Right, and okay, but the point being is, like John mentioned, and you actually mentioned, there could be a quarterback comes out of nowhere that nobody really thought of that's going to be really, really good. I mean, the quarterbacks for that we think will enter the draft next year: Sam Howell of North Carolina, Slovis of USC, Rattler maybe in Oklahoma.
I do have a counter for that. It's that if you actually assemble the right team in management and coaching, and you're moving in the right direction, you should win enough games that you're probably not drafting top 10 again.
Not next year, no, not next year.
I disagree. You're not necessarily going to be 7th. If you have that draft capital next year to build the other positions, what you're talking about is gaining more capital and waiting to see what you get next year and then losing a bunch of that capital to trade up. I think if Trey Lance is there, you have to take it. That's just my view of it.
I understand that, but to me, he's still a great unknown.
This comes down to, you got to evaluate next year's class versus this year's.
So
And if you think any of these quarterbacks this year are better than anything coming out next year, then that supports taking a quarterback.
It does, and Trey Lance could be that guy. And I told you guys before we went back on here after the break that if Trey Lance is available, I would have a very hard time passing up on him. I watched some more film of him over the weekend, again last night, and there are things that he does in regards to just his athletic ability and moving around in the pocket, his arm strength, and then you start reading more about how he has studied the game. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. But you also have to look at, and here's something to think about, is Trey Lance has been a
Starting
starter
route
for
to
17 games.
27357
And I know
West
that's a
7 Mile
huge knock.
Road.
And not only is it a knock on him that it's only 17
In
games,
2.3 miles,
but it
turn
was
left
17
onto
games
West
at the
14 Mile
FCS level. If you're looking at next year and comparing that quarterback, that class, Sam Howell next year will have been a 3-year starter in the ACC. And we saw what he did against the Clemson defense as a freshman. Last year I thought he had a good year. I was hoping for a little bit more, but I expect that this year, in 3rd year in a system, 3rd year starting quarterback, he is going to be a very good quarterback. We're going to be talking about him next year on a day like today as, if the Lions don't take a quarterback, how are they going to package those 2 or 3 picks to move up and take a quarterback?
Maybe Goff really looks good.
That's another possibility.
They won't have to worry about that. All right. Who out there that people aren't talking about? And it doesn't have to be somebody who's a first round or somebody who's going to be a first round pick. Who you think is going to have, under the radar, use that term, solid career. He might be somebody picked late in the first round. He might be somebody that's picked in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
Here's mine, and it's in a position that there might be 1, maybe 2 people picked at that position. And maybe I'm biased because I got to see him play a little bit. Trey Sermon, running back, Ohio State. I just think, somebody's going to take him in the 3rd or 4th round, and he's going to be a really good value pick in the NFL, and he's going to have a really good NFL career. Maybe not a Pro Bowler. I think he's going to be really good.
He's one of mine. I had him on my little list.
And I think the reason that he falls to the 3rd and possibly, I would say probably the 4th round, is just because of his injuries.
Yeah.
And if he can stay healthy, I think he would be a solid running back in the NFL. I'm going to give you, I'd like to give you a couple of guys, but I'm going to start with a wide receiver from Tennessee, Josh Palmer. And I look at him and I see 3 consistent years of production, and not jump off the page numbers, but mid 500s in terms of yards per year. He was limited in terms of the quarterback that he had. He was limited in terms of the offense, a changeover in coaching staff. And I look at him, 6'2", 210, and I've watched what he did at the Senior Bowl throughout the week of practice, and then in the Senior Bowl game itself. He's going to be a kid that's probably taken higher in the third round that I think is going to have an extremely solid NFL career. I don't think he's going to be that Pro Bowl type player, but he's going to be a solid NFL receiver for a long time.
I got a few here. And you know who is the top of the list. It's Trask.
Right.
I believe Kyle Trask can be an NFL starting quarterback someday. It may not be next year. I think if he gets in the right situation, his accuracy, you build around that. I just think it's undeniable. My actual, I think lock of guys who aren't going in the first round, I think Creed Humphrey. He's been completely forgotten about. He was Oklahoma center who opted out last year. Mm-hmm. This guy was an all-pro. I think you're going to get yourself a solid center that's going to start 10 years if you take him in the second or third round. I think he's a money pick. I wish the Lions actually needed a center. I think Nico Collins is going to end up having a decent NFL career.
Yep.
Of all the Michigan receivers in the last 5 years, I really think there was an electricity to him and the physical stature as well. And then I got one for John.
Oh.
This is for John. Oh. Can you guess his position?
Well, offensive tackle, I'm assuming.
I'm being very, very extremely...
Oh, no, you're not going kicker, are you?
Evan McPherson from Florida
has
a cannon of a leg.
You just lost all credit.
He has a cannon.
I don't know that I can take you seriously for the rest of this week.
John, I'm looking at this on CBS Sports. They list the top, 30 guys in each position. I don't even see a receiver here.
Yeah, I know. He's gonna be late. I'm telling you, he's a sneaky guy. And I'm gonna give you two more real quick because I know we got to get to break. Darius Washington, the safety, one of the safeties for TCU. It was an unbelievable defense. I think that he's a little bit undersized, which is why he will fall a little bit in the draft. You can use him at that safety position. If he can't match up in regards to size, you can use him as a slot corner. Another guy out of the Big Ten, Northwestern's cornerback, Greg Newsome.
Yeah, he's only a first-round pick, I think.
He is, and I think he'll probably be late first, but he's a guy that you should really be talking about along with some of those other...
Do you like on the TCU safety, obviously Trayvon Moore is the number one safety in the draft.
Right.
But what do you think of Jamar Johnson of Indiana?
I think he's a solid player. He's going to have a good NFL career.
You think Washington's better than him?
I do because of the way that Washington processes the defense, the way he puts himself in position pre-snap and then post-snap. You see some of the things that he does. You can tell that he's processing things faster than a lot of other players, and I think that's where he's going to be successful, is on the mental side. And when you're undersized, like we talk about Devontae Smith, and we hear from Saban, we hear from some of these other coaches that he played under, the way that he processes the game, he does it at such a high level. If you're undersized, that's what you have to do.
Don't sleep on another offensive lineman, by the way, from Georgia.
In 6.9 miles, turn left onto West 7 Mile Road.
He's a pretty good guard. What you think?
I do. Good size, really good size, good strength. Just needs some more experience.
All right, Heather has news next.
Yep, I'm going to tell you why a PGA golfer could be in some hot water with his girlfriend after breaking a promise that he made to her.
Lord, I have no idea what this is. I'm intrigued. 97 won the ticket.
Hey, it's John Jansen here for Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. This is your last week to get the John Jansen Jeep deal. During the Jeep Celebration event, you can get into a 2021 Jeep Compass starting at only $219 a month. The Jeep Compass includes over 70 standard and available features to keep you confident behind the wheel, and you will automatically be enrolled into the Jeep Wave program. This is a premier customer care program providing you with no additional cost, worry-free maintenance, and dedicated 24/7 support. So go see my friends Bill and Tim over at Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram today. They have a ton of these SUVs on the lot right now, so don't go searching around town, trying to make a bunch of phone calls, driving around from dealer to dealer, when you can go to Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram for your one-stop shop. So whether you live in Waterford, Dearborn, South Lyon, or Ward, you're just a short drive or click away from the best car buying experience you're ever going to have. Ask for the John Jansen Jeep deal today. Check them out online at SouthfieldChryslerDodgeJeepRam.com. And remember, all roads in all towns lead to Southfield Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram at 11.5 and Telegraph.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center. Although the roads are accident-free, things are starting to pick up in a couple of areas. That includes 75 southbound approaching 12 Mile as drivers are heading into the work zone. The Deck-Go route you can trust is to use Stevenson Highway, John R. or Woodward instead. Also seeing some heavier traffic through the work zone, M59 both directions, where we have single lane closures between Romeo Plank and Groesbeck. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
The Detroit Pistons host the Dallas Mavericks. Pre-game Thursday night at 6:35 on 104.3 WOMC.
Hey, football fans, the 2021 draft is right around the corner, and FanDuel Sportsbook is hooking up new users with 20-1 odds on Trevor Lawrence being drafted number 1. That's crazy. That means a $5 bet wins you $100 when you bet on the projected number 1 pick. It's the biggest lock of the draft. Put an extra $100 in your pocket just for betting it. To claim this exclusive offer, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using the promo code Doug. You can also make a variety of different bets from top picks at each position to who you think your team will pick, and many more. Put on your GM hat and download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to lock in your picks today. And remember to use the promo code Doug to claim your exclusive 20-1 odds on Trevor Lawrence being drafted number 1. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. New users only. Must wager in designated offer market. $10 first deposit required. Maximum bet $5. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-2707-117 for confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook, the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
Our energy grid. It powers the present and fuels the future. That's why DTE is working every day, planning and building the grid of tomorrow. Investing in infrastructure that's stronger and more resilient. Using advanced technologies to make it smarter and more responsive. So you can have reliable, affordable energy where you need it, when you need it. Learn more at DTEenergy.com. DTE. There is nothing more beautiful than a tree. Unless, of course, it's fallen on your power lines. Fallen trees are responsible for nearly 70% of the time DTE customers are without power. So DTE is stepping up efforts to trim overgrown trees to keep you safe and the electric grid reliable. And it works. Where we've completed tree trimming, customers have had 60% fewer outages. Learn more at DTEenergy.com/tree care. DTE.
Is your car no longer stopping like it used to? Don't miss out on spring brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will help you find the brake parts and supplies you need to do the job right the first time. You'll find great deals on brake pads and rotors, fluids, degreasers, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Clay's Cleaning Service has a spotless reputation.
Take care of the windows. Hello, this is Clay.
But his business operations could use a light dusting.
I had you scheduled for next week. I'll just check here. No, absolutely. We will be there tomorrow.
Indeed can help him hire the people he needs.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job, you immediately get your short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job criteria. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Most people know that Mr. Clean Magic Eraser removes crayon and scuff marks from walls. But did you know it even cleans tough kitchen and bathroom messes that are sometimes tough to tackle? Just wet, squeeze, and erase gray soap scum on your bathtub. Erase cloudy hard water spots in your shower. Erase burnt-on stovetop messes. So for all your tough kitchen and bathroom messes, try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying. She says her gums are irritating. Is there anything you can do, you can try new Crest Advanced Gum Restore. It detoxifies below the gum line to restore your gums back to health in just 7 days.
Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today.
All right, before we get to Heather's news, we have some ticket texting. Pretty interesting. Devil's advocate. If the Patriots want the quarterback, shouldn't we? Well, the Patriot way didn't work here.
No.
But I understand the feeling, you know. If Belichick really wants Justin Fields, let's say, hypothetically, or Trey Lance, you know, why wouldn't the Lions? From Drew going to work. My sleeper, nice career, no one mentioned.
What's going on? No. Amber? Uh-huh. It was a list that she gave me, yeah. Yep. Yes. With St. Clair. You got it. If you get anything in commerce, send it to me. All right. All the ones that she gave me, there was probably 4 or 5 of them out there, I think. No, this was last Friday, I think. Yesterday, the only time I went to St. Clair yesterday was to take permits, pick up permits at the City Hall. No, they were supposedly approved. That's what I was told. I didn't. Did you mark anything in St. Clair Shores yesterday, Rick? What was the street? No, it had to have been Friday. Dude, they don't know what each other's doing. I got a list this morning or last night from Christine for like 20-something jobs. And then I got a list from Alex for another 30-something jobs. That is, I think there's some duplicates on it. I gotta double check to see, but I think I want to be driving like all over the place. I've got Holly, Howell, River Rouge. Where do you live? You live in Warren, don't you? If I see any on there over that area, I'll let you know. All right. You got any? No. Did you ride with me yesterday? Yeah, what's he like? Why do they keep getting these guys freaking way out? Who does he know?
they're paying these guys? Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I gotta do today. I gotta get down to the yard and have them check out this air conditioner. 'Cause I'm not. What? I heard 81, but it's gonna be freaking hot. Sitting in the sun with this in this truck. So yeah, I gotta get down there. Yep. All right. You know, no walks today? If you have a lot, or we gotta see where we're going. Huh. That's surprising.